So then guys, great news. If you're a fan of that iPad Pro with an OLED display, well guess what? That OLED display looks like it could be coming to the iPad Air 2. And it looks like it won't be that far away when it actually comes. And the other great news I've got for you guys is that the next generation of the iPad Air is also set to come out super soon too. And in fact, let's go over that to begin with. As you can see right here, we've actually had a leak in from Mark Gurman, giving us a bit of a roadmap of different Apple products that are looking to come out in the early part of 2026. And involved in that, you can see there's some MacBook Pros, some MacBook Airs, but you can also see right here, it says that the iPad Air is also on its way. And the great news about this iPad Air is that it's going to get some updates with it, and it's going to get a brand new M4 chip put inside of it. This is going to be the same M4 most likely that we have got in the current iPad Pro that got released in 2024. If you know anything about the current iPad Air right now, well, the Air actually has the M3 chip inside of it, and this got updated in 2025. Now, what normally happens with the iPad Air and the iPad Pro, the Air is always one generation behind the iPad Pro. So the iPad Pro right now, at the time of making this video, we have the M4, but obviously we've been hearing that the iPad Pro is going to get an update to the M5 before the end of 2025. So this makes sense now for, the early part of 2026 that the iPad Air would also get an update to go from M3 to M4. Now the cool thing is with getting that M4 chip inside of it, it does mean that obviously probably battery life might be slightly better inside of it, because M4 definitely gives us better kind of battery bits and pieces like that. So this is really good, and obviously the speed of the M4 is absolutely amazing too. Now, just in case you want to know what kind of configuration we're going to get with the M4, we have two configurations for it inside of the iPad Pro. We have one configuration if you got yourself the 256 gigabytes of storage or the 512 gigabytes of storage. You actually get inside of this 6 efficiency cores and 3 performance cores. It's only when you go up to the 1 terabyte or the 2 terabyte option that you get the, I like to say, the full fat M4. This is the 6-core CPU, what's efficiencies, and then obviously 4 cores of the CPU being performance, so 1 extra performance cores. But both versions inside the iPad Pro do have the 10-core GPU. Now, something else to also note here is obviously with the iPad Pro, if you go for that lower storage, that 256 and 512, you only get 8 gigabytes of RAM. And I think that this version, the one where we've got, say, the 9-core CPU and the 10-core GPU, and 8 gigabytes of RAM is going to be going inside the likes of the iPad Air. I think that 16 gigabytes of RAM, is reserved for the Pro model. So I'm not expecting it to be the top range of that one. Now, don't get me wrong, 8 gigabytes of RAM on an iPad is really, really good, especially with iPad OS. And obviously people out there who've got an iPad Pro right now, obviously with the 8 gigabytes of RAM, it's more than enough for most of you guys out there. And this to go inside an iPad Air, it's going to be more than enough for you guys too. But the next question you might be asking me is, what about, say, those other leaks out there, Matt? What about that OLED display that you spoke about right at the beginning of the video? Well, I'm going to tell you even more information about that after I tell you about another OLED device, and that is the giveaway OLED device that I'm doing on this channel. And that's right, it's for an iPad Pro M4. And I'm giving this away to one lucky subscriber on this channel. Now, funny enough, I just talked about all the cores and things like that. Well, I'm actually going to be giving away a 1 terabyte version of the iPad Pro 13-inch with Wi-Fi and cellular. So this means you are going to get that full fat 10-core CPU, the 10-core version where you've got the 6 efficiency cores, 4 performance cores, and 16 gigabytes of RAM inside of it, 1 terabyte of storage, and the best thing as well is this is the cellular version. So you get cellular and Wi-Fi. Like I said, it's going to be given away to one lucky subscriber, and it's going to be given away at the end of September time. And the great thing is that you can enter into this giveaway right now. all you have to do at this stage at the moment is just put down into the comments below of what technology gear you're hoping to get in 2025. Maybe it's going to be a new iPad, maybe it's going to be a new iPhone, maybe it's going to be something completely different. Well, let me know in the comments below. Now, the other part of the giveaway, well, that is also going to be happening at the end of September time, where I'll be making a video telling you when I'm going to do the live stream to give away this iPad Pro. And you won't want to miss out on that video, because there's also a form to fill in too, what I'll be telling you all the information about around that time. So the best thing you can do right now is make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, because you won't want to miss out on that video. Plus, you want to be a subscriber too, because like I said, to enter in, you need to be a subscriber. The last thing I just want to quickly say to you guys is that sadly there are still lots of scammers and spammers out there. People still impersonating me, telling you to WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram direct message. Please do ignore these people. Best you can see right here. Please do report them. Now, next of all, I want to tell you about other changes that are going to be happening to the iPad Air. Now, what I'm going to say now is the actual form factor, the actual design of the iPad Air is probably not going to be changing anytime soon. So the current 11 and 13-inch model and the design is going to stay the same. We're not going to get that super thin iPad Pro that we got back in 2024. No, it will be staying exactly the same. But we did have this leak in right here, and obviously I am going to say this leak is a bit old, but it does say this right here, that after the likes of the iPad Pro, the next device on target to get an OLED display put inside of it is the likes of the iPad Air. And it says right here that it's going to be in 2026. Now, personally, I'm going to say this in my own opinion, I'm 50-50 on this one. It does make sense that obviously the next device to get an OLED display on it is going to be the iPad Air. But what I would also be saying with this is that maybe it's a little too early for the iPad Air to get an OLED in Apple's eyes. Now, personally, I would love to have an OLED display in the iPad Air right now, not even waiting out for the M4 version. I think we should have it right now, because so many other devices that are premium have this. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I think we should have it. But I've just got to look at other Apple history. For example, I look back at, say, the iPhone sort of 10 kind of models. And then we had the iPhone 10, we had the iPhone XS, and then we also had the iPhone 11 models, whereas all the Pro and the XS, you know, and all of those ones, they all had OLED displays. But the likes of, say, the iPhone 8, the iPhone XR, and even the normal iPhone 11 still had just a standard LED display inside of it. It wasn't until we got to the iPhone 12 where this got updated. And even look at the likes of, say, Pro Motion. Yeah, iPhone 13 gave us Pro Motion, and yet it's even coming up to now to the iPhone 17 that we are finally going to be getting, say, Pro Motion put in a normal iPhone. I think you can see where I'm getting from. I think OLED is definitely coming, but I'm 50-50 if that next generation, the M4 iPad Pro, will get it. It might be the next generation after that. But hopefully, I really do hope we do get OLED in the next iPad Air. But personally, if we do get it, I don't believe it probably will be Pro Motion, because obviously if you got that iPad Air, obviously, you know, with Pro Motion display and an OLED display at that, the tandem OLED for example, well then it kind of doesn't make sense to actually buy yourself an iPad Pro, apart from say the M5 chip and it being slightly thinner. Apple have got to sort of separate the boundaries between both of those devices, and obviously keep the iPad Air relatively cheap at the same sort of price it is selling for now. And talk about the actual pricing of the iPad Air. Well, it looks like it's going to probably start exactly the same amount as it starts right now. So this is $599 for the 11-inch version, and then obviously that's $799 for the 13-inch model. So this is probably not going to change unless tariffs do interfere with all of this, but we'll have to wait and see on that, because personally we were told that tariffs were going to come into play and affect Apple prices about say 4 or 5 months ago, and obviously That hasn't happened yet. So let's see what happens in that space in the near future. But really guys, that is the latest and greatest we have on the iPad Air. Are you excited for it? Are you going to be getting one? Well, let me know in the comments below. And with that as well guys, it's time to wrap up this video too. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. As always, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Until next time guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.